Happy Friday, Face-Offs, Think Tankers. Every Friday episode is sponsored by Titan Battle Gear. If you hadn't heard our recent conversation with the founder of Titan, you know why we are excited of what Titan is building. They are changing how players think about their base layer protection. It's Velcro free, it's breathable, it's lightweight, and it's made with the highest rated cut-resistant fabric on the market. It's no wonder they recently became an official partner with USA Hockey to help advance player safety. This is definitely the gear we want our athletes wearing. All Hockey Think Tank listeners can get 15% off at TitanBattleGear.com/GMBM. Let's go.
Hey-o, let's go. Happy Friday Face-Off, everybody. Every Friday, Jeff and I will take a topic in the hockey world or beyond, 99% the hockey world, and just have a discussion about it. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, but sometimes these conversations can be uncomfortable. And this one might be one of those conversations. It might not, but it might be. But this is where we love when you guys phone in. That's not the right word, but when you guys write us messages, whether it's through email or DM on things that you want us to talk about on the podcast. And I feel like this is one that is a really, really important topic, honestly, because I think you're seeing more and more of this nowadays. And there was an Instagram story that came out there that I kind of shared, and it's about ADHD. And so I had a hockey parent that wrote me a direct message, a DM, as they say in Jeff's world. And it said, let's talk about my ADHD son's coaches constantly tearing him down due to his ADHD. This is a topic that coaches need training on. Education in this area is very important and very often overlooked. And I think it's a great topic. Honestly, I think, Vex, maybe at some point we should bring on like a psychologist or something that has a specialty in ADHD, because this is something that is becoming a lot more normalized, let's just call it, in our world. And I have a daughter that has ADHD. Through the process of going through that with her, I very much was like, okay, I feel like I'm looking in a mirror right now when the doctor was telling us about our daughter. And so I got checked for it, and I have ADHD too. And the funny thing when I think about it is I actually hate the label. I really hate the label. Attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder. It is not a disorder, in my opinion, not even close to a disorder. It's just a different way of thinking. It's a different way that your brain works. And there are so many successful people, especially in entrepreneurship, that have ADHD. Okay. So I think the first thing is taking away the negative stigma, negative label that people have with kids with ADHD, because you just need to coach them or teach them a little bit differently, right? Like teachers in a classroom, like these are kids that do not sit well at a desk, and they need to be doing things constantly, maybe a little bit outside. They need some physical activity. They need maybe their activities to be a little bit shorter than doing the same thing for, and a lot of it has to do with, again, I'm not a doctor here, guys. This is just stuff that I've learned about myself and my kid through going through this process. But like kids like that sometimes need to be coached a little bit different, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, because I think it could be a superpower in a lot of ways. And so let's talk about it, Vex, because I'm sure you have, whether diagnosed or undiagnosed, had a lot of kids in your gym with ADHD. I would venture a guess that you maybe to a certain extent might even be a little ADHD-ish yourself. But is this something that you've thought of? Is this something that you talk about? Is this something that you look at for players in your gym and doing things differently for players in your gym?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, usually those are the kids that they get through things quicker, or if you're able to hold their attention span, and you just know, like Toph said, use a school example. If you got everybody doing a project and they're sitting down for a long time, maybe that kid with ADHD can't sit for that long. So you allow them to do, okay, hey, if you finish early, you're going to do this or this, or you need to modify it to this, and then you go do this, and then you do this. You just put bumper lanes on them. It's just it's just slightly different. You're achieving the same things, but you might have to get to those outcomes a little bit differently than with somebody else who might have, the attention span or whatever I'm not a doctor either, bro. So not a psychologist. I don't even know how to explain it, but you know what I'm saying?
But for like the players, let's just think about this. For like the players in your gym that like have trouble focusing on something.
Those kids have a longer rope with me, if I'm being honest. They have a longer rope with me. There's no doubt.
So give us like an example of like something that you potentially see and how you as the coach would kind of handle that.
I mean, like if there's multiple things in a row that we're supposed to be doing, some of the kids who have ADHD like badly or worse or whatever the word is you want to say, it's more intense as far as like their attention goes. They might find themselves playing around with things like fiddlesticks, like just doing different things in the gym when everybody else is like doing this. And it's because like, I know that that's how they are. So I'll let it go, or I'll be like, okay, hey, when you're finished, you're going to go do this, or you can do these 3 things. And it's like, I know that they're going to finish or they're going to be done or they're not going to be able to hold their attention as much. So then I'm going to give them other options to do that are also productive things that I know are helping them get better when they finish or when they're, they start going off on a tangent or whatever it may be. They're achieving the same goals as everyone else in the room. But the way that they achieve the goals, it might look a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. I think another thing too is, and a lot of my kind of looking into this, like a lot of kids with ADHD have, I'll just call it like selective attention spans too. And so if it is something that they are very interested in and very passionate about, their focus level can be like at 150%. If it's something that like they don't see value in or something that isn't fun or like then they are gonna check out pretty quickly. And so as a coach or as a teacher or whatever it may be, like if you can find something that they absolutely like love to do or find a way that they love doing it, finding a way to merge kind of like the overall practice plan with some of because as a coach, right, we can't treat every kid the same. We have to find ways to coach the team and coach the individual in a harmonious way. And so finding what it is that makes that kid tick and finding a way to incorporate that way of thinking into your overall plan, that could be something that really, really helps the kid, because then the kid feels seen, the kid feels heard, the kid's going to have more of a focus and an attention span to the things that you're going to be doing. So like really like getting to know that kid and getting to know, like watching them, what are the things that they're actually focusing on and they're able to do it, and what are the things that they're not, and then helping them through that, if that makes any sense too.
Yeah. And I would also say like, it's something that, especially when we're talking about kids, like the parent needs to tell the coach, like just pull them aside and just be like, hey, just so you know, like little Johnny's got ADHD, and it's, sometimes he loses his attention span is shorter or whatever, whatever's going on, whatever, however the ADHD affects them, just so the coach knows. Because if the coach doesn't know, they don't know, especially like volunteer coach, had work all day. He's got one kid who's going off on a tangent all the time, like letting them know, like, this is a real thing. This is something that he has, not a big deal, but here are some ways that we work around this at home. We work with this at home, however, whatever language you're going to use. So it just helps that coach. And then something from an organization standpoint, I don't know, I'm sure there's resources out there that, books or ebooks or online things that talk about from a teacher's standpoint. This is how teachers who work with ADHD students get best results with them, because coaching is teaching, and, teachers have been, working with ADHD students for a long time. So it's probably gonna help you be a better coach by learning what teaching methods work.
Yeah. And I think like everybody that has some sort of leadership position should seriously, like Vex is saying, do some digging into this, because, I don't know if this is just something that's been diagnosed and that's why there's more people and kids that seemingly have ADHD. I think the environment that kids are in and the instant gratification and the constant dopamine hits through social media and the way that they view technology and media, I think that is a contributing factor to it, with the short attention spans and the impulsivity and things like that. And so, if we want to be really good at what we do, and I like, even as a parent, man, like looking at this stuff for my daughter and for myself, like it has allowed me to have a much greater appreciation for the hard kids, quote unquote hard kids, the ones that can't focus as much or are very impulsive and physical with other teammates, especially at like the younger ages and stuff. And I think one of the things that really looking into it, and we can end with this because I think it actually is maybe the most powerful thing for me, is it gives you the opportunity to have a little bit more grace for these kids. You know, and as a coach, it's very easy when somebody's not paying attention or something like that to just snap or be negative with that person and think that, oh, this person's ruining my entire practice plan or whatever, right? Like when you come at it with a little bit more of a, how can I help? When you come at it with a little bit more education on why and different things that you can do to maybe have a positive effect on that kid, man, not only is that going to help that kid, but it's going to help you too, as that coach, as that parent, as that teacher, to just have some grace, take a breath, come at it in a more objective view, as opposed to getting emotional about somebody that's not listening, which is very easy to happen. And so that grace for me has been very, very important, you know, in dealing with this. And yeah, man. So again, I want to make sure we are not doctors. We are not psychiatrists, psychologists, anything like that. But this was, something that somebody wrote into us. And I think it's a very valuable topic and something that we should be talking about a lot more and destigmatize it, as well. Because there's a lot of people that are, I don't want to say suffering with it. There's a lot of people that have it, and in a lot of ways it makes us better. And a lot of ways it challenges us to have to find different ways to be better. And just a really cool topic. So appreciate, the person that sent us that note. Keep sending us notes if there's things that you want us to talk about. And any last words, Vex?
I just think as a coach, you think about these things anytime that, especially if you have an organization that provides you with resources, like, yes, these are going to help you obviously with coaching hockey and the kids, but like learning about these things are also going to make you a better communicator for whatever you do in the real world, whether it's your job, your family, like anything. So like the better you are with your communication skills, it's going to level up everything else you do in your life. So like Toph said, learning about this stuff will definitely help.
Yeah. And just for me personally, like looking at it, like I think it's a superpower. Like there are certain challenges to it, but I know with like my personality and stuff, like it's a big part of the reason why I've succeeded. And like understanding that now, like has been, they need to change the name. It's not a disorder. It can be a superpower. So
love it.
All right, guys, time's up.